Child of God, welcome on today's show. This episode is intended to promote peace, unity, and love to the whole world and remind fellow Earthlings of the importance of honesty and forgiveness. Welcome on today's show. I will be your host, Y311H, and together we shall be going through some creepy and woke videos that might make you rethink reality. All in the name of good vibes, my friend. But we shall be guided. We shall be backed up. We shall be having full support of the Almighty Creator, whom we shall ask for their help before we begin the show. But hold on tight, my friend. As you hit that like button, I'd also like to gift your soul with something from the Book of Wisdom. This book, my friends, is full of wisdom. And today, this is what it tells us. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely He will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only observe with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. Psalm 95, 1 going down. Interesting words, child of God. I hope they replenish your soul. Let's talk with this wonderful Creator before we dive in. Thank you, wonderful Father, for this day. Thank you, dear Lord, for the gift of life, Father. All glory and honor belong unto you. We come before you, Father, today, together with the adorable child here, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Thank you for life, Father. As we react to these videos, dear Lord, may we be guided by your Spirit, Father. Thank you, dear Lord, for the blessings you shall pass to this viewer's life, for the good time experience, dear Lord, that you shall give to them. Forgive this viewer all their sins, Father, and intervene in their lives. In your holy name, Jesus Christ, we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Let's dive in good vibes. So much.
Low key, I'm hoping I'm just tripping, but I just came out the store, got in my car, and I locked the door immediately. I mean, seconds after I lock the door, a guy comes up to my door and knocks on the door. Not the window, he knocked on the door, which was weird. Like, I can't see the handle all the way, so my first thought was, did he just pull on my fucking door handle? Already weird enough, right? So my windows are really dark. I'm hoping he just walks away. He doesn't. And so I cracked the window like this much, and I said, what's up? He said, hey, can I get a jump? I was like, I'm gonna be real with you. I lied to this hoe. I'm gonna be real with you. I just went to the shop. I just got back from the shop, and I don't know if my battery can take it. He said, oh, okay, cool. And he walked away. I saw him go back here where this car is, get in the car, and drive away. You just asked me for a jump, but got in your car and drove away. Portsmouth is a scary place, y'all.
This is mildly embarrassing to put on the internet, but instead of waiting for my ketchup bottle to go bleh, bleh, I like to use physics to get all my sauce. I give you centripetal motion. Make sure your cap's on.
So this is called the human anthill. It's a housing building in Russia, and 18,000 people live in this one building. 18,000 people living in this one community. This is images during construction. That is incredible. I mean, how many floors is this here? I mean, that's enough people to fill concert arena or sporting arena. And I think they're all connected, even though it's multiple towers. That way everybody gets a balcony and a view. It has a ton of units. I mean, a ton of units. I want to see how many floors it is. What is it like? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Looks like about 25 floors. Impressive.
This person does not live here and this person does not live here. The reason why I show you this is because the energy you surround yourself shapes your present and your future. This is all what Feng Shui is about. If you live like this, you block your goals to become reality. You don't have to be rich to have a good Feng Shui in your home, but you open the door to become rich in each part of your life with a good Feng Shui in your home. And if you want to know how simple it is, then follow along because I post daily a Feng Shui video for you.
How old were you when you realized you're not supposed to keep turning your air on and off during summertime? That's what causes the high electricity bill.
You're telling me this whole time I'm not even supposed to touch my thermostat? Every time I leave the house, I was always taught, turn the temperature up so the AC doesn't have to work as hard when you're gone. Turns out that is wrong. We tried it this past month. Our bill was cut in half. Don't touch your thermostat, guys. When you go up and down with it, at nighttime, it has to work twice as hard to bring it down to that temperature. But if you just leave it at the temperature, it just goes through the whole time. We've been getting scammed.
Do you know how they find out if babies are going to grow up to be introverted or extroverted? It is not by how social they are. It is not by how much they love hanging out with other people. It comes down to if a baby starts crying when there's loud music and loud people talking and a lot going on, and whether a baby is calm. So the baby that starts acting out when there's a lot happening in their environment grows up to be an introvert, while the other one who's fine with all that chaos grows up to be an extrovert, because it does not come down to how social we are. It comes down to the sensitivity of your nervous system. So literally introverts have their pupils dilated, their heart beating faster, like their body is chemically reacting to outside stimulus. And that is it. It never came down to how social you are. You're doing great, sweetie.
Tell me why my man was so surprised that like actual dirt comes off me when we were taking a shower. The other day, me and him are taking a shower and he like looks at the ground. He's like, what's that brown stuff? And I was like, what? I'm like, it's dirt. He's like, why is there dirt coming off you? And I was like, I have actual like product on my skin that needs to get rubbed off. Like I put lotion on, I put oil on, like every time after I shower. So when I take a shower, like obviously all that has to come off. Because when he showers, he just gets out the shower, doesn't put any product on. So he's like, he was bamboozled.
Huh? I'm also bamboozled by that story. Good web source. You when you bathe, how does the water look like? Does it change from colorless to grease looking like? Or how does it go like? Or you when you bathe, the water color is never changing? Do you use soap from where you come from even? Or good web source? Leave your comments on the videos you've just seen. This is just the beginning. Things are about to get even more interesting. Kindly stick along as you get to see this interesting stuff coming up. Good vibes.
In the 10 to 20 seconds after someone handshaked, some point in the interaction, they would touch their own nose. And they hypothesized that we like to smell what the other person's hand smelled like. And I cannot tell you, now that I know this, you'll never be able to unlearn that. Now when I handshake people, I have to say, don't touch my nose, don't touch my nose, don't touch my nose, don't touch my nose, don't touch my nose. Like it just happened now where I was like, don't touch my nose. Because it's actually a human instinct, I swear, to shake hands and then touch your own nose because we want to smell it.
Steer-by-wire on the Tesla Cybertruck is so trippy because the steering wheel isn't actually physically connected to the wheels that are touching the road. So when the Cybertruck goes to sleep, it kind of just gets all floppy like this. If I open the door, watch, it wakes up. That's just so cool. And now it feels like a normal vehicle, but this is all just like software trickery. It's giving you resistance because that's what feels natural.
Watch this former 33rd degree Mason explain the similarities between Mormonism, Freemasonry, and Satanism.
If you go to Temple Square, you'll see Masonic handshakes, you'll see the all-seeing eye, you'll see the sun, the moon, the stars. There's no crosses on the Mormon temple. There's nothing Christian on the outside of the Mormon temple. When you get inside the temple, you go through 3 levels. And in each level, you're taught hand signs and handshakes and things that are all very similar to Masonic stuff. And you are made to swear an oath. You put your hand to your throat and go like this, the same as you do in the entered apprentice degree of the Masonic Lodge. In a third level, you are taught another set of secret handshakes, and then you're instructed, and this is where it gets really Masonic, you're instructed to go up, and they have this veil, which they say is like the veil in Solomon's temple. So you've got Masonic markings. You have a square and a compass on your chest. You have another marking on your navel and another Masonic marking on your knee. These same markings are on the veil, but they're stitched so they're holes. And there's a guy on the other side of the veil that you can't see who represents Heavenly Father. And you go up to this guy and you're instructed, you put your hand through the veil, and this is called the 5 points of fellowship. And this is right out of Masonry and right out of witchcraft. Gardnerian, Alexandrian witchcraft, and Masonry and Mormonism all have these 5 points. And the 5 points of fellowship are foot to foot, knee to knee, hand to back, breast to breast, and mouth to ear. So you're embracing this unknown guy through this veil, and he whispers to you the secret name of the celestial kingdom. And you ready for this? It's health in the navel, marrow in the bones, strength in the loins and in the sinews, power in the priesthood be upon me and my posterity for all generations of time and all eternity. Now, that might sound reasonably benign, except for the fact that it's almost word for word out of the satanic grimoire. It's a satanic incantation. The only difference is that obscene words are used.
What do you see first? What you see first in this image can actually reveal a lot about your personality. If you saw 2 zebras first, you're likely someone who thrives in social settings. You love being around people, engaging in conversations, and meeting new faces. In fact, connecting with others might just be one of your favorite things to do. Routine is something you tend to avoid. You crave variety and excitement in your day-to-day life. But beneath all that social energy lies a fiercely independent spirit. You have your own way of doing things, and sometimes that strong independence can come off as intimidating to others. It's not a flaw, just something to be mindful of. If you saw the lion first, you're probably a calm, composed individual who values peace and quality over quantity, especially when it comes to relationships. Instead of seeking large groups or constant social stimulation, you prefer a small, tight-knit circle of people you trust deeply. You have a natural sense of leadership, not loud or overbearing, but firm and respected. Courage and honesty are your defining traits. You're not afraid to speak up for those who can't speak for themselves, and you have a deep respect for fairness and justice. You also appreciate the finer things in life. Comfort, pleasure, and a sense of well-being are important to you. Let us know what you saw in the comments, and tell us if the interpretations were accurate.
Hundreds of birds swarm a house. Then they do something amazing. They fly right into the chimney. It's an invasion. This fireplace is where the birds made entry into the home. They flew in by the hundreds and left a wave of chaos and destruction. Look there, they're lining the windowsill with wings furiously flapping. They also attach themselves to the ceiling.
There were birds coming out of everywhere. It was insane.
Carrie lives in the home in Torrance, California. She says she called animal control, but was told simply to leave her doors open. But the birds wouldn't budge.
And they were just bouncing off your head. They were on the curtains. I just grabbed them 2 at a time, so I had 4. Took them to the door, let them go.
It took Patrick 3 entire days to remove more than 1,500 birds by hand, and they left quite a mess. Incredibly, the same thing just happened 100 miles north in Montecito, the same town where Oprah, Prince Harry, and Meghan Markle live. Only a steel grate kept 1,000 birds out of the house.
I learned a really cool fact from a guy who works on a submarine, and that is that submarines smell bad and weird. This is not because, as you might expect, there's a lot of dudes on there sweating and farting in a metal tube, but rather it's a consequence of one of the coolest technologies we have. Do you ever wonder how submarines have air? Like a scuba diver, to go down for, a couple hours needs this whole tank, and yet submarines can exist for like 3 months without coming up for air. They use a technology called a CO2 scrubber. Spaceships use the same thing, and it uses chemicals to pull the CO2 out of the air, and then they add oxygen that they pulled from the seawater itself. But the chemical reaction they use for this makes the air smell like ammonia. These are similar chemicals to what makes urine smell. I've heard the smell described as ammonia-like, fish-like, rusty metal. One person said it smelled like a dirty McDonald's. And sometimes like oil and diesel in the engine room will also get in the air, and that, really adds to that smell. But it just smells like this all the time. Fortunately, most sailors go kind of nose blind to it after a couple days, but when they arrive back on shore, their clothes still stink of it because there's like a literal chemical in the air that has, deposited itself in the fibers. And then occasionally, when people are working out or whatever, it does smell like sweat and farts, but that's anywhere.
Wow, good web source. Humans are really incredible. Imagine that whole concept we just heard about the submarine. Myself is the first time I came across or heard that. And I can just say humans are incredible. That's mind blowing, you see? And now there's that guy that was visited by some bats there. What do you think that guy would have done for him to be visited by those birds in such a large amount or in such a big number? Could he have done something to the birds, or was it just a random visit? Leave your comments down below, including what we shall be seeing here coming up together. Let's keep on watching.
Scientists just discovered the world's most perfect urinal, and that's actually very important. Here's why. In the US alone, it's estimated that 1 million liters of yellow stuff splashes out of urinals onto the floor every single day. Why does that matter? Well, if it takes 10 times as much water to clean these floors, that's 10 million liters of water being used every single day. So how can we conserve water and keep these bathrooms clean? That's where the urinals come in. The standard urinal has remained basically unchanged since 1917, but now scientists have used new technology and the laws of fluid dynamics to create 2 new urinals that are basically splash proof. The first is called the cornucopia, a design with high walls and a deep rim that got its name because it looks like the cross section of a cornucopia. Second is called the nautilus, a tall and narrow design that can accommodate various heights and people with disabilities. It got its name from the nautilus shell. Both of these designs reduce splashback by over 95%, as you can see here, but no one is making them yet. So let me know what you think. Would you use one of these urinals? Leave a comment down below, and if you want more interesting stories like this, you can subscribe to my newsletter. The link is in my bio.
Your hair is probably one of the most psychically important parts of your body. Why is that? Let me explain. So in physiognomy, hair is actually interpreted as sort of psychic tendrils or antennae that go out from our brain and receive signals from the world around us and from other people. And this view actually explains a lot of things, like why women typically have longer hair than men, because women are more sensitive and aware of these subtle psychic and emotional signals that they receive from other people. It's also why, historically, spiritual leaders and their followers have often had long hair, all the way from Jesus up to the modern day with hippies. And that is why when you join the military, they shave your head in order to cut you off from psychic signals and make you less sensitive. Now, since hair is so important to our psychic and spiritual well-being, I've decided that I'm going to do a series on the physiognomy of hair, telling you what different textures and colors of hair mean for you. Follow this account if you want to learn more.
What's the difference between gray hair and white hair?
Well, so the thing is that your natural hair color does not just go overnight to white. It goes through a depigmenting process, almost like your favorite pair of jeans. They start off with a nice deep indigo, and then slowly they're a blue, to a lighter blue, to a fade, and then they get a rip. So what happens is our hair, the pigment production slows down. So you have 100%, pigmented hairs, and then you have some that are 50%, 30%. Those in that range are the graying hairs. And then the ones that you can see from across the room in that camera in your bathroom vanity, those are white hairs. And so a hair that is visible in that way is likely lost all pigment. That's where your first gray hair is so important to acknowledge, because there are likely 5 or 10 hairs around it that could be in the graying process. And if you can catch them while they're at that point, you can help to repigment them, just like you can prevent a fine line from turning into a wrinkle.
We have a lesbian couple that lives next door, and one of them bought me a Rolex for my birthday. I mean, it was really sweet of them, but I think they misunderstood when I said I want a watch.
This is someone's father here. It's very funny. Good websters. Humans are incredibly funny and amazing. You see? Did you get the joke? That guy, maybe he said, anyway, it's a good vibes. I hope you got the joke. It's interesting. Now, we have seen also something that have made me wonder what's really going on down there in the world. Good vibes. Can you believe those urinals you have just seen there? Some of them look really cool. To be honest, there's designs there I've seen that could really be excited to use. Like one that was looking like it has a hole that looks this way. They look cool. Good websites watching for the male audience. Please leave your comments down below. Which of those urinals could you want to use or could really fascinate you? Or do you have a design there yourself which you can share with us? Let's keep on watching and hit that like button. Good web source. Much love.
If you're a smoker who wants to become a non-smoker, you'll need a way to kill cravings fast. In this video, I'm going to show you one of the tools I teach my clients to turn cravings off instantly. When a craving hits, do this. Tap the center of your forehead. Tap the start of your eyebrow. Tap the side of your eye. Tap under your eye. Tap your collarbone. Then squeeze your hand and say peace. Take a breath and feel the craving fade. Do this as many times as it takes to completely eliminate the craving. Follow me for more tips about how to quit smoking.
This is how you properly drive in heavy traffic. Most people don't drive like this, so the heavy traffic continues, but if more people did it, it would be better for everyone. We're gonna sit far back from the person in front of us. We're gonna allow space for people who wanna merge into lane to merge in without having you stop. When people stop, people behind you stop, and that's where the traffic comes from. I'm creeping up on this person, I'm moving, but before I even get to them, they take off and I continue on. So I never properly stopped, and the people behind me, they slowed down, but if they did the same thing, they wouldn't stop as well. You can see another example here. We have enough room for those cars to merge over, and if they merged over, we wouldn't stop.
There are a lot of elitists who like to put people down for using ChatGPT as like a substitute for intelligence, mostly because ChatGPT is not a substitute for an intelligent human. But what I would like to say to those people is that ChatGPT in the hands of an intelligent person makes that person a god. The fact that ChatGPT is like a game-breaking exploit is not being culturally acknowledged enough. It is like when the smartphone came out, this is that, times 2. The ability to use AI to consolidate information in the hands of someone who knows what they're talking about or what they're looking for or how to look for it, it's an absolute game changer. It puts you so far ahead of baseline human intelligence. Even the most intelligent human could never have the intelligence of an intelligent human with ChatGPT. No, it's not sentient. No, it's not going to think for you. But you don't need it to. All you needed to do is consolidate all the information in the world and cross-reference it against each other, and then you do the rest.
I would like to show you how differently my children perceive my wife versus how they perceive me based on the artwork they have drawn and hung up on our bedroom wall on each side of our bed.
So here's my wife's side of the bed where she has a beautiful rainbow and a comic strip of like our family and a bouquet of flowers, a platypus because it's her favorite animal, a heart that looks like it's water damaged but has a little poem in it. And then I think this is my daughter holding my wife's hand. It's just absolutely precious.
And then we now go over to my side of the bed to look at my artwork, and I have just one piece of artwork. It is a literal pile of shit with flies flying around it. And when I asked my son who drew that for me, why did you draw that, buddy? Thinking maybe it was because of like my sense of humor or something, he just dead ass looked at me and said, because it reminds me of you. I don't know how to take that. And just for giggles, let's go ask him and see if we get the same answer, because maybe it's changed. Hey, buddy.
Yeah?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you know the picture that you drew that you hung up on my side of the bed?
Yeah?
Why did you draw that?
Because I thought of you.
Okay.
You know how every once in a while the lottery gets really big and people start speculating about how weird it is that one random lucky person is about to hit the jackpot? I have the nerd version. See, in 1972, the Soviets sent up a probe that was supposed to go to Venus, and it never made it there. It's just been circling the Earth for the last 50 years, and now it's coming back down. And because they built things properly and to last back then, this huge metal probe is very likely going to survive re-entry. Now it is crashing, so they don't know precisely where or when Cosmos 482 will land, but they're thinking it's going to be somewhere around May 10th. Statistically, it will probably land in the water. Statistically, it will not hit anyone. Statistically, it will not hit me. But I am tracking my chances.
Have y'all seen the video of the lady who found out there's a secret house under her house in her basement? And that's not even the catch. The catch is, since she's moved in, she's been smelling like something rotten in her house. And she's been cleaning, fabulosoing, putting stuff down the drain, everything trying to get the smell out. Nothing was working. So then she got some plumbers in, and the plumbers found like a secret entrance behind two walls. Like the wall was set up so you couldn't go through it. And they found out there's a whole house in her basement under her house. And what's even crazier, they found human remains in that secret house. Windows boarded up, everything. And the landlord, when she spoke to the landlord said, "Oh, I have no idea." What do you mean you have no idea that was there? So now it's being investigated as a crime scene, because when she went in there, what she saw, she was like, nah, this doesn't look like it was natural. Like, she's saying she's seen claw marks and all of that on the carpet and stuff. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm moving out. I'm moving out